Thanks, Ben. Last week we played at Louisiana Monroe, played well in the first half. Our defense was better. We made some strides there, and offensively we made some shots in the first half. Second half, we were in position to win the game. I want to say we were up 7 and had the ball twice and couldn't capitalize, missed a couple of open looks from 3, and then they hit a couple of big threes, including banking a couple in. It was that kind of night, and they caught us, got the lead, and we dried up and couldn't score. I think we went 7 minutes. Similar to the first time we played those guys without a field goal down the stretch, and we did finally get one with a minute to go. But the game was closer than the final score indicated. We shoot 29% the second half. That game before, we shoot 28% against Arlington the second half, and we're not going to win many basketball games doing that. It was disappointing to lose that basketball game because we felt like we had played well enough to win, and we traveled the next day over to Troy, that close little jaunt down I-20 there in Highway 80, and about 7.5 hours later we got in and practiced a little bit, had a sharp practice, and felt like we were focused. We came out for an afternoon game against Troy, played very well in the first half. Steven Ronkowski came off the bench and gave us a big boost. He's been practicing very well. He's been shooting the ball very well, and it carried over into the game. And he was playing with a lot of confidence. We go up 12 in the first half, had a chance to extend that. We had a turnover right at the end of the half, our second turnover. We got a 5-second count and let them score. So made a couple of poor plays there at the half to still go up 6. Second half, they pushed it up to a 2-possession game or stayed there. They got it to 1-possession game. Then we were able to extend it, and at the 10:30 mark, Steven missed a wide open 3 that would have made it 17. I think it was 14 at the time. They go down, and we lose Person on back-to-back possessions for 3. He's a really good shooter. So the game was still a 2-possession all the way down to the wire. We played well, and we pushed it out to 8 with 1:33 to go, I believe. And then make a poor choice. We get trapped in the corner and get a pass stolen. Brian Williams throws one out. It gets deflected and score. They go score. And pretty much they're scoring every time they've got the ball. Our defense was at times like the NBA All-Star game yesterday, for those of you who witnessed that. So next thing you know, we throw the ball in and we get trapped and get called for a travel. They're pressing, and then we get called for another travel. And then we bust loose and have a chance to run the clock out with 26 seconds left. Jay takes it to the goal, and he tries to lob it to Sean. It's deflected, and they go down and are able to tie the game. Kevin Thomas hits 2 big free throws to tie it, and we fall behind in the overtime for the first time all game. And I told the team when we got back to Lafayette about 3 in the morning on Sunday that I don't know that they've ever been in a game where you have led for 39 minutes. And that's the way our defense has been going here. The way this is taped up.
Yeah.
Yep. Rigged up. It's a homemade job here. Let me just hold it. Got it. Can you hear me? Testing 1, 2. But at the end of the game, I told the team when we got back that you played 39 minutes and 59 seconds with the lead. You never trailed. You know, they tied us with 1 second to go, less than a second. And then to give up the lead, we talked about you're going to have some adversity in the second half. You give up the lead and go down by 3 in overtime. And then Jay Wright made some nice plays penetrating to get the basket and help us get the win. So Troy's fighting for seeding just like we are, and they were coming at us. They played a great game. I don't know. Also, I think it's a first that I've had a team allow 62.5% from the floor and win a basketball game. It's probably an NCAA record. If somebody wants to look that up, that's the first thing we said as coaches in the locker room. But Chris Bilbo was 1 for 5 against South Alabama Thursday. He goes 9 for 10. You know, we wanted to take away the 3-point shot. They're one of the best in our league, and we did. They got 4. It was all. And the person hit 2 in a crucial time. But we did a good job on the 3-point line, but we got beat off the dribble, and our interior defense was poor at times. But made enough plays to win the game and got a good contribution from Brian Williams. It's the best game he's had rebounding the ball since the Auburn game.
How about Jay? Only had 3 buckets in the last 2 games, and then 6 good field goals.
Yeah, hasn't shot it well, and I talked to him Friday night individually. Had a good talk with him and Brian Williams individually and challenged those guys. And Jay said, "Coach, you know, it's my fault. We lost him in the road game. I lost him in the road game." And I said, "No, you didn't lose in the road game. I mean, but when you play well, it certainly helps us and our team plays better. But you can affect the game without scoring." He did that at Texas State. Last time we played those guys who we play on Thursday coming up, I failed to mention, at home. But we need Jay to make shots. And I tell you what, he's so competitive, Dave. He drove it in there late and made a couple of really nice plays and got to the free throw line. Just a tough, mentally tough young man. He's very smart. He understands what we're trying to accomplish. He doesn't make mental mistakes. He may make a physical mistake on the court. And actually, his defense the other day was better than it's been all year. He got a couple of quick whistles we felt like that were good defensive possessions for him. So, and he's shooting the ball with confidence. He's always been able to shoot it. Good passer. But gave us some toughness the other day, and just the mental toughness about him has allowed him to continue to practice every day. And he's on the scout team. Some days he jumps out there. Steve's all about winning. He doesn't care about minutes played.
We got Bob down to the last few games of the season. This is kind of where you always seem to get the team really together, motivated, whatever. Talk about Thursday night's game, how important that is.
Well, it's very important. We're trying to move up in our seedings. In Texas State, we just played those guys a couple of weeks ago. They're in a little bit of a tailspin themselves, and we need to get this one at home. We weren't very good in the second half of our last home game, and we need to come out and prove that we can play a 40-minute game at home and then get ready to move on to the next one at Arlington, which will be head-to-head. It's a crucial game. I think just like the women's team, that we're fighting Arlington for that spot, basically, and we need to beat them head-to-head. So every game is important. We need our crowd to come out and help us on Thursday night against Texas State. It should be a good basketball game. And we need to get on a roll at this time. I mean, we got 5 left, and we've got to string some wins together going into the conference tournament. It's still right there in front of us.
What was Brian's reaction like when the start line? What did you do to kind of work his way back in?
He was disappointed, like most guys. I mean, he's a 5th-year senior. He wants to play. He came here to play, but he's got to do the things necessary to get on the court. And he wasn't doing those. And Jonathan Stove wasn't either, therefore he got another chance. And I asked him to rebound the ball, and he went and got 6 that led our team. And he got 2 that were offensive rebounds for baskets. Very important in the course of the game. What we did early, if you remember, we got off to a good start over there and hit some shots, and we're up double figures in the first half, and let them make a run at the end of the half, and then the second half wound up giving them the lead. So we've got to be ready to play against these guys, that's for sure. And hopefully we can make some shots and then defend them a little bit better than we did down the stretch. Imani Gant's a really good player, and they made some shots against us. Tilbury, they've not shot the ball well from 3, but Tilbury had a big game against us, and that kept them in the game and gave them an opportunity to win. Our defense was really good at the end of that game too. We had a couple of great possessions. Bryce had a couple of nice blocks, and then we had Jay Wright start us off with a big and one, and then Casey hit a big triple. And then Sean also made an and one to finish the game. Our last 3 baskets were and ones.
Learn anything about the team up by 8 with a minute 11 to go, and then find yourself down in overtime, that they were able to turn that around?
No, should that surprise me? I mean, No. Yeah, I learned I should have called timeout when Brian got trapped in the corner, and I tried to let us play through it, and we just got pressured on double team on 2 of the out of bounds plays, and Jay got small and got called for a travel, but we just have to finish. We've got to make the right plays down the stretch, and it can get away from you in a hurry. You know, we need one play to turn it around. It did show me that the guys, again, going into overtime, that they can come back from some adversity. I mean, we've been coming from ahead all year, as you say, Dave, but we've never done it in overtime, so now we can check that off the list.
Texas State was 8 out of their last 9. Does your team need to not pay attention to that at all? They're kind of going into this and look at it as like you guys are fighting for the season.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to go about it. Look, it's the next game. It's a home game. It's an important game for us. And Texas State will come in ready to play. There's no question about that. And they're very good defensively. And they've had trouble scoring the ball this year. But they're a good basketball team and one that we'll have to be prepared for and be on top of our game. Now, that being said, today we're going to work here in about 40 minutes on us today with our preparation, try to clean up some things that we didn't do well the other day. And tomorrow we'll start game prep for Texas State. Playing them just a couple of weeks ago, it's a pretty quick turnaround, so everything's still fresh in our guys' minds.
Coach, you got Marty Brought, you going to bring players loose for morning ball day?
No, I told them to make good decisions when we arrived back to Cajun Dome early Sunday morning, and we were off on Sunday. I hope they rested. I tried to. It's that time of year where it's a grind. We got to be at our best starting off this week. So we'll practice again tomorrow afternoon, and then also on Wednesday in preparation for Texas State, and then we'll fly Friday to Arlington to play UTA and bus back. That's the plan as of right now.
Is there a sense that there are some things that you think this team can still maybe show you that they haven't yet, or are you kind of all that you are right now?
Well, that's a good question. I think that we need to be consistent across the board, and we haven't shown consistency, especially on the defensive end. I said this before, we're on pace to be the worst field goal percentage defensive team I've ever coached. And with all that being said, if you look at our games throughout the season, we've had 8 games where we shot 41% or less, 8, and we're 0-8 in those games. So when we don't shoot the ball, it multiplies and makes our defense look worse from that standpoint. But we're at the top of the league. We're the best three-point shooting team in the league. We're one of the best free throw shooting teams in the league. One of the best shooting teams in the league. We're the best rebounding team in the league. We're the best scoring team in the league. We do too many good things, and it's all about defense and shot selection. And we've got to get better in those 2 areas if we want to continue to play in the March. And I think we're capable. There's no question that we've got the talent and the size to do what we need to do. We need good decisions from the guards, and certainly need to make some shots going forward.